Greetings Earthlings and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make the most cliche quarantine recipe of all time, banana bread, but we're also going to make a homemade chia seed jam to go on it. This recipe is super cheap, filling, healthy, energizing, made with readily available ingredients, and contains no gluten or refined sugar. It's honestly the perfect recipe, and I'm so happy I started making this. They got a beehive. We are going to start with our chia seed jam. So for this recipe you need 3 cups of fresh berries, and you can really decide which berries you want to use. I use strawberries and blueberries, but blackberries would be excellent as well. We are going to add 1/4 cup of water to a saucepan, 1 tablespoon or more depending on sweetness level of maple syrup. We're going to turn that to medium-high and let it come to a simmer, and then turn it to low, medium-low for 10 to 12 minutes. We want to stir it occasionally, but just kind of let it do its thing and simmer out. It'll start thickening, but you want to kind of encourage it by smashing the berries as well. We're going to turn off the heat and add our chia seeds. You need 2 to 3 tablespoons of chia seeds, depending on how thick you want the jam. After you let that sit for about 5 minutes, you are going to squeeze the half a lemon into the jam and scoop it into a jar and put it in the fridge for at least a few hours, if not overnight, to let it thicken. Now we're making our banana bread. So here's the ingredients you need. It looks like a lot, but honestly these ingredients are super cheap. First of all, we need our 3 quite ripe bananas, the riper the better. We need our oats. You can use oat flour, but I just ground up straight up oats and that worked. We need almond milk, maple syrup, blueberries, and I'm gonna put some chopped walnuts in mine, but like I said, you can put whatever you want. 2 eggs, some cinnamon and a dash of salt, and we need baking powder and baking soda. So first step, if you didn't purchase oat flour, is to grind up our rolled oats. So we're using 3 cups total of rolled oats, and I just put them in a blender. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but you know, whatever. And we just ground them till it was a fine, kind of floury consistency. So once we have our oats all ground up, we're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're gonna add our cinnamon to your liking. I just kind of, sprinkle it on in there. Okay, so we're gonna preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So we need to mash up our 3 ripe bananas with a fork. Add our 2 eggs. We need 1/4 cup of almond milk. I just added a little vanilla extract because I had it, and why not? Then we're gonna add 1/3 a cup of our maple syrup. Again, this makes it sweet, so how sweet you want it is to your liking. So we whisk that all together and eventually combine the wet and the dry ingredients, and then add our toppings, add-ins like our nuts and our berries, or whatever you want to add in. The frozen blueberries add a lot of moisture to this, which is why I chose frozen as opposed to fresh. So we need parchment paper and a loaf pan for this. I find that works the best. I didn't have cooking spray, so I just put olive oil all over it. So we are going to put our mixture up in this thing, fill it on up, and then we set our timer to 50 minutes. I set mine to 50 and then checked on it at the 50-minute mark. I noticed it needed about 5 more minutes after doing our little poke test, so I put it back in. You want to let your bread cool for at least an hour. Ideally, it could even go in the fridge overnight, but we all know we're all impatient. We want to eat it right away. So I let it cool for about an hour. When you're ready to go, pull that thick jam right out of the fridge.
I put a lot of nuts in there. That's okay though.